Now, you come here to Ballacameen School today. You're doing a presentation. Tell us about that.
I'm presenting 2 copies of the book to each of the secondary schools on the Isle of Man, really to encourage the students here that this is a career history of a man who was condemned when he was at school as being a dunce and illiterate, struggled at school, but then went on after school to develop a really strong career. And I think on that respect, then it's inspiration for anybody who finds school challenging to say, look, stick at things. If you're determined and you want to succeed, this is a potted history of a man who's done exactly that. The book charts the life and career of Manxman William Kennish, who was born in 1799 here at Mackhold. He left the island, according to himself, as a literate Manx peasant, and went on to become master carpenter for the Mediterranean fleet within 7 years. He then went on to invent the first method of making the guns on the side of a ship point to a single target. So he took gunfire out of the Pirates of the Caribbean era of broadsides into concentrated gunnery. And from then he then went on to develop another number of other things before emigrating to America, where he discovered the first route between the Pacific and the Atlantic, which didn't require locks. This was about 60 years before the Panama Canal was built, and when the Panama Canal was opened, he was acknowledged as an able engineer who contributed to the eventual sighting of it.
Maybe William hasn't had as much credit here on the Isle of Man as we should give him then.
There are a few people who have known about him, but this book charts his career in great detail, and it took me about 6 years to research, and the more information I found out, the more doors opened, and it was very, very interesting to chart this career of this Manxman who when he ran out of money inventing things, turned to poetry and published a book in the 1840s called Mona's Isle, which was well received on the island but has faded into obscurity. So now I hope the book has pulled all of his inventions, his expeditions and his poetry together in one single volume, which should help historians and those who are interested in this giant of Manx history.
So what made you want to do this?
I've always been interested in Victorian history, and as a member of the Victorian Society here on the Isle of Man, I started investigating Manx inventors, and Kennish came to the fore pretty quickly as a person who's got that scientific background. And the more I investigated him, the more I found out about his history, his inventions, his expeditions into South America, and it just developed from there.